They laughed when he walked into the room, not in a cruel way, not intentionally, but in that awkward, unsure chuckle that people do when something feels out of place. And he was. At 40 years old, David Callahan was the new intern at a tech startup where the average employee age hovered somewhere between just out of college and still figuring out how taxes work. His graying hair and faint crow's feet made him stick out like a rotary phone at a smartwatch convention. But what nobody knew, what he hadn't told even his wife, was that walking into that building was the bravest thing he'd ever done. Reinvention sounds romantic until you're the one doing it. You imagine something poetic, a road trip, a bookstore job in a sleepy town, maybe pottery classes. But for David, it meant stepping away from a 20-year career in insurance underwriting. It meant admitting that success didn't feel like success anymore. At his 39th birthday, David sat in his Honda Accord in a Target parking lot for 47 minutes, holding a slice of birthday cake in a Tupperware container. His coworkers had sung to him, sure. His boss gave him a signed card. But when he looked in the rearview mirror, he saw a man whose life was happening in fast-forward family photos in frames that hadn't moved in a decade, a job title that sounded important but made him feel invisible, and a to-do list that never included one only must. So he went home, kissed his kids goodnight, and told his wife over tea, "I think I need to start over." She looked at him like he'd just declared he was moving to Mars. Then, slowly, she nodded. "Okay," she said, "let's figure it out." They sold the lake house, canceled the Hawaii trip, reworked the family budget. David enrolled in a 1-year coding boot camp with people half his age and twice his social media presence. And now, here he was, day one of his new life, intern, coffee fetcher, break room ghost. The startup was loud in that calculated chaos kind of way, vague chairs and open-plan desks, people taking Zoom calls from treadmills. David was assigned a desk between a guy who drank Soylent and spoke only in acronyms, and a woman who live-tweeted her own thoughts like she was narrating her brain in real time. He smiled. No one smiled back. He spent his first week Googling acronyms, laughing politely at jokes he didn't understand, and wondering if they noticed he brought lunch in a brown paper bag with his name written on it. They noticed. One morning, during the Monday stand-up meeting, his manager said, "All right, everyone quick intros. Let's go around and say our name, role, and something cool we did this weekend." David panicked. What had he done that weekend? Laundry, grocery shopping, fixed the dripping sink. When it was his turn, he said, "I'm David. I'm one of the new back-end interns. And this weekend I installed a new showerhead that doesn't leak." Silence. Then someone snorted. And someone else said, "That's actually kind of awesome." By Friday, David had a Slack channel named #DadTips, where younger coworkers asked him how to do adult things, like how to file taxes or the best way to reheat pasta. One guy asked what kind of vacuum he should buy. David answered sincerely. They started calling him CodeDad. It wasn't respect not yet. 3 weeks in, a project hit a crisis. The client was threatening to pull funding. The team panicked. Code broke. Features crashed. David stayed late. Nervous as hell, he pushed it to the team Slack. No response. Next morning, his manager walked over and dropped a Red Bull on his desk. "Nice work." That night, David drove home with the windows down, the music too loud, and the kind of smile that starts in your stomach. He still felt old. He still felt awkward. Not everyone was kind. One junior dev asked him if he was shadowing for his son. Another said, midlife crisis much. But David had lived long enough to know that those comments were more about the speaker than the listener. One afternoon, a 23-year-old engineer knocked on his desk divider and asked, "How did you know what you wanted to do? I mean, when you were younger?" David thought about it for a long moment. "I didn't," he said. "And then I thought I did. But now I know that changing your mind doesn't mean you were wrong before. It just means you're still growing." The engineer nodded. David became the unofficial mentor. He still fetched his own coffee, still felt like a time traveler half the time, but he had something none of the others had. Yep, and then, 6 months in, he got an offer. Full-time salary, benefits, a real desk, not just an intern badge and a folding chair. He called his wife from the office rooftop. She cried. He laughed. The day he started full-time, the company sent out a welcome. David email with a picture of him, holding a laptop like a proud dad at graduation. The caption read, "Proof that it's never too late to start over." People clapped when he walked into the room. No awkward laughter, no raised eyebrows, just applause. Because sometimes the bravest thing isn't climbing the mountain or winning the medal. Sometimes it's raising your hand at 40 and saying, "I'd like to try something new." And sometimes life lets you